So Marcel's worked fine is the first option, New Secular Code is the middle one, and then Autonomous Codes is basically the individualized codes for all of the little guys. Actually, I'll just call that individualized. Easier. Alright. And vote. This should be an interesting one. It should be a very interesting one. It says a lot about the state of our country, this one will. Do I like being a commentator better than playing in the games? Yes. Commentator means that I can keep a much bigger picture on what's going on. It also means I have a much easier time interacting with chat. I get pretty competitive. I get pretty focused if I'm doing a multiplayer game, and I don't like to be interrupted. I like to just do my own thing, and that makes it very hard to stream. Whereas as a commentator, I can do everything. I don't need to focus specifically on the game. They say they simplified Russia's tree for the time being before they do the rework, and you always said a Russian civil war in the game rules. Not anymore. Told me earlier that Germany is the best nation to start with when you play Kaiserreich. What are things you should be aware of in your first Kaiserreich game? I'm not going to spoil it. Play it through. Find out. Half the fun of Kaiserreich is dealing with the stuff it throws at you. Okay, so Marcel has worked fine. Came in with actually a very small share of the vote, only 8%. Silas of the Lambs contributed 1,000 channel points. This is a remarkably uninterrupted, uninterfered with vote. Only 1,000 channel points invested, and no bits. Individualized code then came up against the New Secular Code for the top two choices, and the New Secular Code did win with a whopping 75%, so it just didn't need that interference, because we're going to go with the Secular Code. Boop. So we have just grabbed equality before the law. We now need to make sure that we have 279 deputies once again. We also need to make sure that the Conservatives aren't going to cause problems. And right now, they're going to cause problems. Wait, what's that? Oh, that's the Anatolian Relief. That's for the nationalists. Right, that's the one that's already in progress, yes. So I need to find the conservative areas, and in fact, if I hover over this, it will show me where they all are. Loosen their tax burden. Gonna have to do that again. We are losing a lot of recruitable population from all of this. Like, this has now got a minus 50. Are there any other areas that I'm just missing? Oh yeah, down here. Aha! 3 from you. 2 from you. Okay, these are not very populated. 8 from you. We're at 44 of 61, so we do still need a couple more. They're all just going to have to be up here. $54.51. It's enough. No, it's not. Damn it, we need 249 supporting us in the overall government. We've currently got 230. However, getting some more of the nationalists on our side shouldn't be too hard. The Turkish nationalists, because right now they all freaking hate our guts. Scroll, scroll, scroll. 253. We needed 259, right? That'll do it. Okay, repealing the unification decree. This will get 60 more conservatives joining us and 40 Arab nationalists. Oh, was it 249? Oh well. Oh, it was 249. So I've just gone way over. Unification and Co-Education Decree, a testament to the OHF intentions to reform the state into a secular and modern society, is seen by many conservatives in our coalition as an insult to Islam itself, whilst many liberals see its centralist approach to education an attack on the millet system and the initiative of the private individual. Serving as the main election promise in which our coalition was built, its repeal is one of utmost essence. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I'm surprised that Bulgaria is still fighting. That's got to be pretty much over, though. It's not. Although Bulgaria's lost... Well, it's pretty equal, 96 to 95. Losing Burgas will not help. In fact, if they have a port here, so if they're using that port to retreat to Thessalonica, then they could hold on to this for a long time. Like, they are not guarding very many borders here, although they have way too many troops on my border. They're like, we want Thrace back, and I'm like, no. And then they'll be like, please, and I'll be like, no. Oh, you morons! You've left this entire border unguarded. Okay, Carlos is going to lose just because of that. What are you doing? You're doing nothing particularly profitable right now. Oh, it's probably because there was somebody else here. Let's hold that and tell you to attack again. The fall of Boston. A careful application of force was sufficient for Syndicate forces to dislodge the defenders of Boston's inner belt. After furious battles in the port, the city defenders were forced to retreat across the Charles River towards Everett in humiliating defeat. Both soldiers and citizens are in disarray. Interviews of Syndicate men in this scene report that they may have proved victorious against their enemies in the United States only by brutal battle. The invading troops are still prioritizing saving the historic monuments of Boston. See you, Mastani. Do I have the ability to accidentally dogpile Bulgaria for myself? I already did. We took Thrace from them. During the dark years of the Empire, when its borders were under assault from all sides, massive population displacements occurred in the Balkans. As from one day upon another, hundreds of thousands of Muslims found themselves in a nation overly hostile to their existence. Endless caravans of refugees were forced to leave the former Ottoman territories after its humiliating defeats and tried to find a new home on the edges of the capital, from where the Ottoman government tried to resettle them across Anatolia. Many of these people, forced out of their homes in a war they often played no part in, could have seen in the recent reconquest of Bulgarian territory to finally return home, and have been encouraged to do so by Constantinople, who desires to deport as many Bulgarians out of the territory as possible. To make room for these people, the government has confiscated vast swathes of land from Bulgarian landowners to distribute amongst the citizens. Not unsurprisingly, the Bulgarian people living on the land are opposing the government wherever they can, as skirmishes between Muslim Turks and the Bulgars are already daily occurrences throughout the region. To answer the growing crisis and restore public order in these new acquisitions of the Empire, the army has requested a mandate to restore order by force if necessary. Foreign response has so far been openly negative about the deportations, and some more cautious members of our government are requesting us to tone down the scale of the operations to avoid creating a scene in the European intervention, not unlike those in the 19th century. Let's not do anything too drastic, or send in the army! Let's take a look-see. Thrace. Not anything drastic. Or send in the army. And vote. Get your votes in. I'll admit most of my knowledge of Boston comes from Fallout 4. Yeah, I'm not sure that Fallout 4 really does justice to the modern city of Boston. I mean, some of it's still there. I mean, in Fallout 4. I liked Boston. Someone once pointed out it's the most European American city, and I'd agree with that. It has a very European feel. To be fair, nukes are a hell of a drug. That's true. Okay, so 77% of you said that we should send in the army. Samuel Jesus contributed 50 bits, and then Evil Snowball also 5,000 channel points. Thank you very much to you both for those investments. So we are going to send in the army. 77% of you. Alright then. And yeah, we're trying to take the whole of Montana if we can here. Totalist in the Baratia Commune, as the leader of the Baratia Commune's Maximist faction, is recently elected head of state. Subras Chandra Bose gave a fiery speech to an electrified crowd in Calcutta today, promising that his new Totalist government would do whatever it took to deal a death blow to the colonial lapdogs in the former Dominion of India and the decadent oppressors of the Western Princely Federation. Interesting. Oh dear, we're losing in Bilbao. Actually, if we back off... and stayed there. We'll keep an eye on your organisation. I just want to improve my own org. And then we'll consider going back into Bilbao to defend it. Because those tanks are still trying to gun for us here. As long as we don't get cut off, it's fine. Ooh, Canadian tanks. No. Australian. No, New Zealand. Oh no, it is Canadian. The flag is so similar now. Alright, quickly to Bilbao once more. Quickly. Quickly. Get over there. And... good. And we're slowly but surely draining some of the mechanized capabilities of the Commune of France, which suits me just fine. Yeah, you need to. No, you can't. You have no organization left. Whoa, things are happening. The Medan shelter criminals. The Medan, or Marsh Arabs, who inhabit the marshes near the city of Basra, have long been a thorn in the side of central authority in the region, just as their marshland home has been all but terra incognita for the Ottoman administration. Explorers who venture into their lands never return, and the Medan, who cooperate with the outside authorities, often find themselves severely punished by the local leaders in retaliation. The inhospitable nature of their marshes has, until now, mostly ensured their autonomy, and their political apathy towards the Ottoman regime has kept them off the radar. Recent Assyrian damming and settlement projects has made an effort to develop new agricultural land and to flush out the Shiite resistance, fighting the Assyrian settlers who have been forced to make a more active stance. Now, the Marsh Arabs are not only sheltering fugitives from the Assyrian operations, but also those of the Baghdadi Wali. Huzzah! The latter, angered by this development, has requested reinforcements from Constantinople to bring them in line, impose both taxes and conscription for the Ottoman army. So we can leave them alone, or we can say, sure, we'll send you reinforcements. So what do we think? Shall we go after these Marsh Arabs? I've never even heard of Marsh Arabs before. It's kind of interesting. So leave them. Or accept the request. Whoops. If I could spell request, that would be helpful. And vote. Vote, vote, vote. Meanwhile, Sheikh Said bin Maktoum disbands the Dubai Majlis. After being forced to concede to the Dubai reform movement and agree with the empowerment of the Majlis Council, it seems like real progress could have been achieved in Dubai, but these efforts have come in vain, as only a few months after their creation, the Sheikh has crushed the movement with an iron fist. Matters came to a head when the Majlis, under the leader Hasha bin Rashid, restricted the ruler to 10,000 rupees of the state revenues for his personal use. Enraged by this decision, the Sheikh formally disbanded the Majlis and decided to settle the argument once and for all. Taking advantage of his son's wedding to Latifa bint Hamdan of Abu Dhabi, Said loyal Bedouin, who were brought into the town for the ceremony, drew their swords and proceeded to kill various high-ranking members of the Bani Rashid, among them the chairman of the Majlis. Crumbling apart due to the catastrophe, the remainder of the reform movement has fled to the Sheikhdom of Sharjah with the hopes of gaining support from the Sheikh and returning to oust Sheikh Said. We have lost integration improvement with the Arab Peninsula. Tensions are rising in the Trucial coast. Okay, so the Medan sheltering people, so leaving them be, 41% of you said we should do that. However, 59% of you said that we should accept the request and send in some reinforcements, so we shall do that. It will be order at any cost. Have I decided what tanks I'm going to use? Heavies. Alright, onwards. How are we doing in Bilbao? Bilbao we are holding. As long as we're actually in the fight, which we are. And the light tanks are about to lose. As long as you lot keep on pushing towards Madrid. And we are now on the outskirts. We may well be able to get there. We just need to, like, hold on over here. Meanwhile, the Camel Cavalry have decided that, you know what, I don't fancy moving. Which is not okay with me. However, this guy is leaving, so we'll wait until he goes. And then we'll move in. We'll make sure to secure Montana first. You've got reinforcements coming in. I need you to leave soon. Come on. 2 whole days? Ugh. At least this guy has no organization, so we should be able to punch straight through him. How is this taking you so long? Oh, you cancelled, you bastard! Ah! Trouble in eastern Anatolia, ruled by Agais and Sheikhs. Many of the Kurds have been embracing the turn of decentralization with open arms. There exists, however, a rift between the Kurds actually living in Kurdistan and those defending the cause in the capital. The metropolitan Kurds, for the most part, united in their organization of the Kurdistan Tali, wa Taraki Jumiyat, the Society for the Rise and the Progress of Kurdistan, envision a Kurdistan free from the yoke of religion with political freedom and development rivaling that of the rest of the Ottoman Empire. But it doesn't seem to realise the situation on the ground is vehemently opposed to this. The Aghas and the Sheikhs, who have been involved in a seemingly eternal civil war between each other, are fighting tooth and nail against the plans of the government to put power into the hands of the urban Kurds. Influenced by the Sufi orders, most notably the Naqshbandi, many of the sheikhs have steered their tribes into open conflict with Constantinople in an attempt to hold on to their power. Failed rebellion after failed rebellion, Kurdistan is slowly but surely being liberated from its backwardness. Although many are questioning whether the cost in human life and clear opposition to the Kurdish ruling class shouldn't be a sign to leave the region alone. Unrest increases everywhere. Oh, we can actually lose the bloated bureaucracy. Interesting. Oh, we've become a federation. Ooh. Interesting. War on the Trucial coast. Since the Red Wedding, tensions have been rising quickly through the sheikdoms of Dubai and Sharjah, as those that escaped murder at the hands of the Sayyid tribesmen fled to Sharjah in the hopes of finding a benefactor for their cause. Finding a willing ally in Sheikh Sultan of Sharjah, the new leader of the reform movement, Mani bin Rashid, has regained the momentum, and the tribesmen of Sharjah quickly moved into Sanjar on the Dubai side of the Khan Creek. Faced with a fragile support base, Sheikh Sayyid of Dubai decided to answer their act with an official declaration of war. Sending his troops within 4 miles of Sharjah, the two camps quickly came to blows. In traditional Bedouin style, however, the two sides exchanged inaccurate fire, preventing any degree of significant bloodshed. When a truce was signed, only a few days later, both sides had run out of ammo, leaving 1 Sharjah man killed and 2 Dubai men prisoner. Since fighting had become impossible due to the lack of material, both sides have agreed to a 3-month truce to await the next shipment coming in from Iraq. Let's hope they'll sign peace soon. Oh, that's an amazing war. 1 man left dead because they were purposefully being stormtroopers. They tried to have a war and missed. Yeah. The Medan Marsh Arabs are a minority group from the Fertile Crescent. Saddam really hated them and launched campaigns against them. And the Kurds that led to a large number of Medans flew into Iran, where they've remained to this day. Interesting. What doctrine are we going for? Mobile. Well, we can't shoot you anymore because we're out of bullets. Yeah, same. I really need to research radios. Because I see that I have reinforcements coming in. Actually, that would be down to their initiative. May not be able to hold Bilbao because he stopped! Don't stop! These mountaineers are getting absolutely obliterated. Peace deal has been signed between Bulgaria and Serbia, ending the hostilities. Bulgaria finally lost. Hungary is still fighting on. Blimey, go Hungary. Don't want to do that. I do, however, want to change my templates because the ships of the desert can now get another camel unit. Or we can save up the 10 required for the military police. No, I think I want to go full camels first. Maybe motorized artillery at some point. Maybe. What's the Navy strategy? Probably subs. We don't have any designers for capitals. Are we actually selling any chromium? No, not at this point. Okay. We're actually bypass the millet system. I guess because we already answered that question. And we said no. Unification Decree repealed. The dreaded Unification and Co-Education Act was destroyed in Parliament earlier today. The decree, a testament to the... Oh, Unification Decree, that's the very first focus you take as Kemal Ataturk. Interesting. Destroyed in Parliament earlier today, the decree, a testament to the OHF intentions to reform the state into a secular and modern society, was seen by many conservatives as an insult to Islam itself, while many liberals saw its centralization program as an attack on the millet system, an initiative of private individuals. With its abolition, the Liberal Coalition now hopes to both favour its support base amongst the non-Muslim communities and throw a bone to the conservative Islamists, on whom a lot of their support in the Chamber of Deputies stands. We march on without turning back. So we can now finish both of these and get the Sublime Federation. I quite like that idea. Oh, we actually change our name to the Sublime Ottoman Federation. Interesting. So we're no longer an empire, we're a federation. This is just the beginning. Star Trek is within our grasp. Ottomans can into space. Education serves as the basis for any functional society, and the lack thereof can be identified as the root cause of our decline, for the living with personal effort needs much virtue. However, we do not have such qualities because of our raising and education style. We want to live without working, we demand wealth without giving effort, therefore we aim to become civil servants of the state. Explicitly, our present poverty stems from the education system. And that massively boosts our research speed, but that's more of a decreasing the research penalty from this, so it's halving it. Alright, cool. We're losing. We need one of you guys to come and back us. Bilbao is about to fall. There ain't much more I can do about this. Also, it kind of looks like we're being pushed back. Yeah, we're definitely being pushed here. Actually, yes, we are. We were next to Madrid for a while. Oh, there we go. Oh, now you're moving in. Bit frickin' late. Oh, no you're not. Immediate counterattack. The tanks must have been on too low strength. Interesting. Well, I'm going to stay here and hold on to this. How are we doing for equipment? We're still very short on guns. These guys are rapidly being trained. We have enough support equipment. One thing we could really do with is logistics companies. Maybe I should have saved up for that. Oh, you guys don't have any orders. Let's have you lining up against Iran, just reasons. Actually, let's not. You were here for a reason. And that was... No, I'm not going to prepare an attack on Armenia. Georgia. Sweet Georgia. Not touching that one with a barge pole. Not as the Ottomans. Okay, it looks like we are going to be pushing them back here. We should, depending on whether we actually, follow this up immediately, get a nice cut-off, and this will also secure us the whole state of Montana, which is awesome. We're actually making pretty good inroads. In fact, we've crossed the river here as well. And we're defending all of the mountains, and then we're out on the plains. Where if we decide to push out, we'll be able to do so fairly easily. So how are the industrial situation looking for all of the different factions here? So the Pacific States have 56 factories? No, probably like 54. AUS have, oh dear, 60 something. CSA have got 30, oh no, USA have got 32, and then CSA have got 40, 39, 38. So we're currently third. What does the US have again? 32. We're second. Run! Move! No! Damn it! Oh, why are you not being more aggressive? Right, that guy is leaving. None of you had better come in to reinforce. You're not allowed to. I want Montana. I hear it's got good fishing. No. Three days, 10 hours. How long is it going to take me? 4 days, son of a... Ugh! Trana might be just beyond what I can achieve here. I'm annoyed that I'm slower than they are. I'm freaking mounted. Damn it. Meanwhile, in Bilbao... Oh, we're actually pushing out. We're actually pushing out. Sure. What are you low on? Infantry equipment. Go ahead and start attacking. Armored cars are actually really cheap. They just take steel. Cheaper than motorized. Maybe I want armored cars and camels. Iran is justifying against us. Okay. Reassert claims on Iraqi Arab. Interesting.